Hi everyone, Emily here again today, but I do have Pepper with me because it's a topic that she's really passionate about and we want to talk about. So last week I let you guys know that I am now dating two people. By dating I mean I'm married to one and I'm dating somebody else. And that's because I am polyamorous. And I kind of always have been since as long as I can remember. So polyamory, I'm only going to be able to talk about from our point of view, from how we experience it, and from what we've gathered through, watching things or seeing things online. But it's not a definitive explanation. It's not going to be the same for everybody. So bear that in mind. But polyamory means basically dating or, being partners with multiple people. And your partners can then also date other people. It's non-monogamy, basically. And so it's not the norm. And for the longest time when I was, younger, because I've just always felt that it's wrong, that I should just be monogamous and that's the way it should be. So my first partner, I, loved, very wholeheartedly. But I started having feelings for somebody else. And basically I realised that I wasn't moving on. So I wasn't moving away from my current partner. I just knew I had feelings for this other person as well. And I felt really awful. I felt really guilty about that. And I, suppressed it and pushed it away. But I always knew it's how I was. And I never stopped liking those two people. So as time moved on, I've explored this a little bit, and I have had a polyamorous relationship in the past that didn't work out. And after that, I thought, this just can't work. This is just not for Luke, my husband. It's not fair to do that to him. And so I've always had this negative feeling around it. But more recently, we've had better discussions. We've been more open. I've been able to explore who I am more. So has Luke, and it's been able to be much more accepted. And I've been seeing, polyamory online, and there was a Jubilee episode, it was a YouTube thing, where basically monogamous people and polyamorous people interacted and discussed things, and I felt really validated, and it was a really nice feeling that, sure, I'm non-monogamous, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. In fact, the way Pepper sees things, because she's here with me, is that it's absolutely beautiful. There's this thing in polyamory and non-monogamy called compersion, which is where you see your partner, somebody you love, in a relationship with somebody else, being fulfilled in another way and being happy with somebody else, and it makes you feel overjoyed. It makes you feel so happy to see your partner so happy with somebody else. And just because they are happy with somebody else does not mean that they're also not happy with you. So sometimes it can be quite difficult for somebody to understand it, especially as monogamy is what's common. It's the only thing that we really know in this society. But there's lots of different ways of being non-monogamous. But I experience polyamory. And basically it's just happy, because it's not cheating, because the whole time the conversation is around it, you speak to your partner's on board, and you're both happy with what's going on. So then when you date, all three of you are happy with what's going on. And if they then date, then all of the people have to be comfortable and happy with what's going on. That's not to say that things like jealousy can't come up. That is sometimes a part of polyamory. But the way that polyamory people view jealousy is not the way that a monogamous partner might view jealousy. And it's that throughout our lives, as you're sharing toys when you're younger, or, with family members, you want to spend time with friends and things, jealousy is never, encouraged. It's not, the desirable feeling. And in our relationships, in our romantic relationships, our polyamory people also think that should be the case, that you might feel jealous, and it's an experience, it's a feeling that you have in that moment, but that's not something you can't overcome, or you can't work with, or become comfortable in a different way. You can talk to your partner about how you're jealous, and they can try and support you and help you, and it's a much more open conversation about communication and sharing experiences, being jealous and talking to your partner and working it out, instead of just saying, I'm in control of your life. That's another thing that I really like about polyamory and non-monogamy, is there is nobody that owns you. Your partner can't say you can and can't do this, because, you're polyamorous, you can date other people. There's, you're individuals who love each other, who work as a team, but you're not owning each other in a way. And it's really nice to move away from that idea, especially as an AFAB person. So it's quite liberating for us. We've always felt this way, but recently we've been re-exploring it. We have in the past, but it hasn't really worked out. But this time seems to be going well. And I wanted to talk about it because I'm really quite passionate about it. I think that not every situation can be solved with polyamory, obviously, but maybe people who really want to cheat, it's not that they want or, it's that they want both. And perhaps if polyamory was more accepted and more known about, perhaps that could be more of an option for people, so they wouldn't have to split away from someone. They could add somebody into the mix. Not every polyamorous group will live together, and there's all different kinds of partners that can work within that polyamorous group. But the way that ourness works is that Nick lives with us, so all three of us live together. I say three of us, obviously there's all of these guys in here, but three physical bodies living together, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's how it works for us, and we've been really happy with it. A lot of people think that polyamory is just about sex, which it isn't. It's just about romantic partners, or whatever you want it to be, really. Again, in a polyamorous relationship, one of my partners could just swing with somebody, as in just have sex with someone and move on, and that's fine. I have no control over their life, and I'm happy for them to explore their life in whatever the way they want to. It's a really freeing and liberating feeling, and that compersion, that joy of seeing your partner with somebody else is something that Pepper really wants to share. She's so happy to see Nick with me, and it's really beautiful. So yeah, there's a lot of different relationship types out there. Monogamy is not the only one. There's polygamy as well, which is where one male has lots of female partners. And there's probably alternatives where it's female with male, but I've forgotten them right now. But basically just non-monogamy, and I'm very encouraged and excited by the fact that it seems to be more, not common, but there's more of it that I can find online now than I think I've been able to in the past. So yeah, I wanted to share how exciting and beautiful polyamory can be. We're not cheating because everybody's in the know and everybody's happy, and it increases your support network. So, you know, if one of my partners is having a hard day and doesn't really want to spend that much time with me, the other one can, and they can support each other. So with anything, we're just a slightly larger support network, and we all work together. It's it's just really nice to be able to more sort of openly and proudly say, you know, I'm polyamorous, I'm with two people, and for those two people to be happy that way as well. As it goes at the moment, my two partners aren't dating anybody outside of my system, but both of them are dating more than one alter. I think one of the things that people say is that, do I feel like my partner isn't enough for me? Do I feel like my husband isn't enough for me? And I think that in every other way in life, you're never completely fully satisfied by one thing, and I think that's okay. I think having multiple partners can bring different things to the table, and can, you know, offer different aspects and different ways of being in a relationship. You know, anybody who's had more than one relationship over time will know that different relationships feel different. And it's not that I feel unsatisfied by my husband. It's not that I feel, you know, unfulfilled. Like, I love him with all of me and I wouldn't change him, and I, you know, don't need anything else. But it's sort of like interesting to have more than one partner and experience different relationships from different ways rather than it just being one, because it puts less weight on one person. I would never say that, you know, my partner isn't enough for me. You know, for I think about 6 years, I'm not very good with dates, for about 6 or 7 years I've been with him, and I want to spend the rest of my life with the guy. And, you know, if I had never found anybody else, I wouldn't want anybody else. But it's not about someone not fulfilling you and someone not being good enough for you. Because when you find that other love for a different person and you experience that other sort of type of relationship, it just works alongside. It's like an addition. It's not like, you know, something isn't enough. It's just like you've got two things that are enough, you know, that work together rather than having to pick and choose between them. You know, you can just have them work together to create a more full and exciting experience in a way. So I hope that kind of makes sense to people, that I can love more than one person wholeheartedly and not be, you know, unsatisfied with someone. So yeah, I've always been polyamorous for as long as I remember, and I'm now dating two people. And marriage obviously is a thing that, one, I'm not really thinking about because I've only been with Nick for a little while now, but it's not allowed. But we are, the three of us, going to change our last name to all be the same, so that we can be part of like our family, and it would just be our little family group. So yeah, it's all about love, it's all about compassion, it's all about open communication, and yeah, happiness. There are, you know, some things that I don't really want to talk about, especially in terms of sex and stuff, because that isn't for me. But there are other channels out there. There's a really good TikTok channel on polyamory that I will link down below. So if you do have any more questions about specific things like that, you can check them out. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this makes sense, and I hope this makes sense, you know, from our point of view. If you have any questions, like, just pop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. And I will see you guys all next week. I really hope you have an awesome day. I really hope you have an awesome week. And we will see you next week. Take care. Bye.